What's shaking, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Duran Duran, and we're back to finish off the Medazzaland album. I did the bonus track last time, that was between So Long Suicide and Undergoing Treatment. I really enjoyed that, and Ball and Chain. It was a cool tune, and I particularly enjoyed sort of speculating about the lyrics in the sense that, you know, it's a phrase that is used in a certain cultural idiom, but I'm always interested to see the way in which his lyrics may utilize such metaphors and so on. And just more generally, I've said it a number of times, I have enjoyed this album as much as any other going through it. It has a very special feel to me. I get that for some people, you know, the absence of John Taylor and sort of, you know, the way the band was sort of in flux means that it may not be their favorite. I completely respect that. But ultimately, you know, I get it. Like, the different albums have slightly different lineups and, you know, sort of different overall stylistic approaches. So there, of course, will be some more favored by others than different ones. But at the same time, what I keep hearing from Duran fans who've started commenting on the videos and have been enjoying the channel, shout out to all you. But what I keep hearing is that even on albums which aren't people's favorite, there's at least, you know, 2 or 3 or if not 4 or 5 tunes that they actually do enjoy, even if overall the album is not, you know, in their top rankings. So I do think that's a testament to how good they are and how they can approach a number of different genres and styles and do them very well, if not exceptionally. So yeah, once again, I really do enjoy all the material that I've been going through, but this album will no doubt have a special place for me because I like bands that are sort of on the cutting edge, that are trying things, experimenting, and ultimately carving out their own sonic territory, even if that means going to areas and extremes or links that other groups that, you know, perhaps are trying for a more commercial sound don't go for. So again, I realize that Duran has been all over the spectrum. They've made tracks that have been very commercially successful, even those, you know, have fantastic production and sort of composition. But then they've also gone into territories that are considered like, wow, you know, that was more abstract and experimental. And I realize this album is on that end. So once again, shout out to this album. I really do love it. And it's a sort of special thing for me as we come to finish it. And this is Undergoing Treatment. Once again, shout out to the artwork on the back as well as the front, which is up on my music wall. Yeah, undergoing treatment. Obviously, you can undergo treatment for a number of reasons, whether for a strict medical condition like, you know, an infection or, you know, trauma, like physical trauma to a part of your body that then needs like a rehabilitation and perhaps medication. You can undergo psychological or psychiatric treatment in which you are prescribed chemicals that will, you know, alter your brain chemistry, ideally or theoretically in beneficial ways. You could undergo treatment for trauma itself in terms of like psycho-emotional trauma. You could undergo treatment for addiction, things, you know, stimulus or sources of substances or experiences that are in some way addictive, whether that be psychologically addictive or chemically addictive, like in a direct way where, you know, if you cease using something, you will experience withdrawals. Your body will have to try to cope and adapt to the lack of that chemical it's come to depend on. But again, addictions can be, you know, in relation to phenomena in culture, in society, or, you know, intimate relations with someone else. You know, you could be going to Sexaholics Anonymous and so on. There are a number of different ways that one might be in a scenario that you then need to seek treatment, whether it's imposed on you by a court order or, you know, a family intervention, or whether you see the danger in your behavior or, you know, the circles you're running in maybe, and ultimately try to get yourself into a situation where, again, you will either be counseled to a new form of behavior, normative changes in your life, or to where you will be prescribed medications, and, you know, again, like chemicals that will alter your physiology and or brain chemistry in some way. Again, ideally facilitating advantageous effects. So yeah, those are the ideas I think of when I think of undergoing treatment. We'll have to see, you know, on what level and to what degree of like direct or metaphorical, you know, level that manifests on. But I am interested to hear how you end an album like this. You know, do you go for a tune with kind of energy and grit to sort of, you know, put that real stamp of character on the release, or do you contrast a lot of what you've done on the album? And again, not all the tunes have been kind of edgy and hard and aggressive and sort of dissonant and so on. Again, Michael, you've got a lot to answer for. That was a very emotional and deeply sensitive tune. But yeah, again, as we get to the end of this album, I do wonder what sort of capstone do you put on a record like this? So we're about to find out. Let's get to it. This is Duran Duran, Undergoing Treatment, from their 1997 album Medazzaland. I was like, that's like thunder over like a barren desert like valley, and then we come in with kind of acoustic guitar. Oh, got a sort of dissonant jazz feel, dissonant funk even. That spoken part, was that also Simon or was that Nick? I know someone was saying that Nick started to sing more on some of the material during this phase. It's like dystopian jazz funk. Faded effect on his vocal mixed with this like loud sort of like cavernous feeling. We're surrounded by the sound. Yeah. I assume that's Simon whistling again. Oh. I mean, it has like a hip hop feel, like there's like a hint of turntables in there. Don't even stop me for a photograph. Like that, like plucked flourish right before it kicked back into the new measure at the end of the dead pause. Oh, dissonant piano strings. Like these delusions of grandeur. You've got chemicals in your brain. That's what it felt like. You know, we were experiencing the injection of brain-altering chemicals to facilitate some sort of response or affected behavior. Yeah, and that was a very interesting end. It was like right up to the end. It was sort of in this like, you know, ethereal, bizarre, funky, dissonant sort of world, and then shoom, it just like came to an end. And you're left kind of like, you know, hanging off the edge of a cliff. Yeah, that was fantastic. That was cool. I really enjoyed it. Admittedly, like, it had an atypical, or again, like a dissonant sort of, what's the right word? Dissonant sort of feel, but ultimately it wasn't like some of the other dissonant tracks on the album. It felt more again funky than some of the other edgy sort of tunes on the album. So yeah, I like ending with a flavor in some ways that we've heard, but with its own little taste to it, like distinct from maybe the rest of the album. So yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed that. I understand again how that is, perhaps less accessible than some of their other songs on some of their other albums, maybe even one or two of the songs on this album. But yeah, I like that. I like an album and a band that's willing to go down different walkways, even if not everyone is willing to follow them there. So, yeah, let me know what you think. I really did enjoy it. Shout out to this album overall. Shout out to Warren coming into the group. I know again that like people have different opinions about what the best guitar that's ever been in Duran Duran is. I'm not really gonna wade into that debate. Again, it's like I've got room for different paintings in my head, different films in the same genre, different songs from the same band, different manifestations of the same band. So yeah, I got space for different things in my head, although I do of course understand when people come down in favor of one or the other. They prefer one or the other. So yeah, that's not meant as a criticism. It's just that as I go through this group and their massive catalog, their wonderful catalog, like I haven't started to like play favorites yet. It's really just like, oh, I love that and that's cool, and yeah, he plays great, and oh, you're right, he plays great too. And like some of the other people that have been on their albums, I'm going through Paper Gods, and people have talked about Don Brown's contributions, Frusciante's contributions. So yeah, whether it's like the core group, or whether it's some of the people who've come and gone, or who've collaborated with them, it just really seems this band knows how to get the best out of everybody's musical abilities. So shout out to them, shout out to all of you watching. I'm just going to keep saying it. I really do appreciate the involvement, especially in the Duran videos, but some of you have sort of found other videos I've done, or even other genres that you might not have necessarily been involved in before. So it really does warm my heart. So shout out to all of you. I will see you next time. Peace.